the proceedings of the congregation. This is the all staff of FUK that are graduates. I'd like to recognize the presence of the President, Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals of Nigeria, Professor Rotimi Olatunji, Lagos State University. You're welcome, sir. I'd also like to recognize the presence of Professor Danju Magambo from the University of Maiduguri, Department of Mass Communication. Ladies and gentlemen, walking in is still the procession of congregation, the members of congregation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Senate's procession, walking in, being led by the academic secretary, followed by members of the Senate, professors, deans and directors, Dean Student Affairs. This is the Senate's procession, which is being led by the academic secretary, followed by the members of the Senate, professors, provosts, deans and directors, Dean Student Affairs. Still the Senate's procession, comprising of members of the Senate, professors, provosts, deans, and directors, Dean Student Affairs. Coming in is the Chancellor's procession, led by the University Mace Bearer. The Chancellor's procession comprises the Deputy Registrar, the Registrar, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Visiting Registrars, Visiting Pro-Chancellors, University Librarian, University Bossa, Registrar, Members of Council, the Vice Chancellor, Executive Secretary, NUC, Chancellors of other universities, University Convocation Lecturer, Professors Emeritus, Pro-Chancellor, Chancellor, and lastly, the Visitor. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th combined convocation ceremony of the Federal University of Kashere, Gombe State. Let's take the national anthem, followed by the school anthem, please.
Nigeria.
FUK anthem.
The student that will be convocated, Lord, the graduate, may it be that they will be blessed as they go out to the field in the mighty name of Jesus. Lord, we are committing the program from the beginning to the end, that it shall be to your glory and to the blessing of all the participants in the mighty name of Jesus. Bless the institution and bless all the management, the staffs, and the graduates in the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. It is my honor and privilege to invite the Registrar, Alhaji Nasir Lawal Abdullahi, to continue with the proceedings.
The visitor to the university, Your Excellencies, Your Highnesses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, by the authority vested in me by the Federal University of Kashere, it is my privilege and duty to formally call this convocation to order. The purpose of this convocation is for the award of undergraduate degrees and presentation of prizes. Section 5, subsection 1 of Federal University of Kashere Act provides that the Chancellor shall be the chairman at all meetings of convocation when he is present, and in his absence, the Vice Chancellor shall be the chairman at the meeting pending the investiture of the Chancellor. May I therefore respectively invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Umaru A. Pate, to constitute this assembly as the convocation of the Federal University of Kashere.
I declare this I declare the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I now invite you, Professor Umaru A. Pate, to deliver your address, please.
The visiting Vice Chancellors or their representatives, Deputy Vice Chancellor at Academics, the Registrar, Principal Officers of the University, Deans, Directors, Heads of Departments, Members of Senate, Members of Congregation, our dear students, parents, the press, eminent guests who are seated here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is with profound honor and deep gratitude that I welcome you all to the third combined convocation ceremony of the Federal University of Kashere. Today marks another milestone in our journey as a young but rapidly evolving institution in Nigeria's higher education landscape. The exciting occasion marks a delightful moment in the history of our young but dynamic institution, and a delightful moment in the history of our, and a delightful moment and a vital point in the lives of our graduating students and their parents and graduates and guardians. The combined convocation ceremonies for this year covers 4 sessions, stretching from 2021 to 2025. Thus, to make it easy for all, the Senate decided to stagger the main event into 2 parts, to hold separately on Friday, 4th, and Saturday, 5th July, for undergraduate and postgraduate graduates, respectively. We did that to enable our first-degree graduates receive sufficient attention on this special day to avoid the occasional congestions that often affects such events. Today, we have 2 major activities after our convocation. Later in the day, the Governor of Gombe State, Alhaji Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, and the Honorable Coordinating Minister of Health, Professor Mohamed Ali Pate, as well as the distinguished Senator Muhammadu Goje, will commission some landmark projects built on the campus in the last 3 years. They include 2 new hostel blocks for medical and postgraduate students, the expansive College of Medical Sciences, faculty buildings, new 500 capacity lecture theater, and many more. Very importantly, the Honorable Minister of Health will represent the visitor, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to lay the foundation of the building of the Federal University of Kashere Senate. The building is an iconic architectural masterpiece that will accommodate the entire administration and some units of the university upon completion. This is an impressive 4 billion naira structure approved by the President as a special project for the university through TED Fund. We are immensely grateful. After the commissioning of the new buildings, we shall proceed to hold the university convocation lecture to be delivered by the Coordinating Minister of Health, Professor Mohamed Ali Pate, on the topic Medical Science, Past, Present, and the Future. The lecturer was deliberately chosen for this role based on his impressive credentials as a globally acknowledged professional in the health sector, governance and development, as well as research and teaching. Before his current position as the Coordinating Minister of Health, he had served as a one-time Minister of State for Health, as well as a professor at the Harvard University's Chan School of Public Health and the Global Director for Health, Nutrition, and Population at the World Bank, among others. The topic for the lecture appropriately heralds the commissioning and commencement of the medical school in this university. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at today's combined convocation ceremony for undergraduate students, 6,870 recipients will be admitted into the various first degrees of this university, covering the period under review. Of the number, 91 students, or 1%, will be conferred with first-class degrees. 1,899, or 28%, will receive second-class upper degrees. 3,917 will be awarded second-class lower division, representing 57%. In addition, 960 are graduating with third-class degrees, while 3 will receive the pass degree. From the total number of the 6,870 students, 4,791, or 70%, are males, and 2,079, or 30%, females. Equally, for tomorrow's event, we are glad to announce that our School of Postgraduate Studies is presenting its first set of 584 candidates for various postgraduate degrees, covering PhDs, masters, and postgraduate diplomas. A breakdown of the figure shows that 16 candidates will be conferred with PhD degrees, 464 or 83% will receive master's degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Science, Master of Business Administration, and Master of Accounting and Finance, while 76 will collect postgraduate diplomas in a variety of fields. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today's convocation is very significant as it coincides with the commissioning of several strategic capital projects that reflect our unwavering focus on development, innovation, and sustainability in this university. These projects were conceived, designed, and executed to address the growing needs of our expanding academic community and to support our teaching, learning, research, and student welfare systems. These achievements would not have been possible without the support of the federal government of Nigeria through the Federal Ministries of Education and Finance, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, the Northeast Development Commission, the Senator representing Gombe Central, our governing council, and the dedication of our staff, students, and project implementation teams. We express our deepest appreciation to all of our benefactors and partners who believe in our vision and continue to support the growth and development of this university. Let me also place on record our commitment to maintaining these facilities and putting them to the best possible use in service of our academic and developmental mission. At this juncture, let me express our profound appreciation to His Excellency, the Governor of Gombe State, Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, for his continuous support, particularly in providing extra land for this university and always being empathic on issues relating to us. We are also grateful to the distinguished senator representing this zone, Senator Mohammed Anjuma Goje, for all the support that has been given us, as well as to the emirs and chiefs in the state. Worthy of mention is the Emir of Pendiga for the fathering role that he has been playing in this institution. He is not only a royal father in his domain, but he has been a father to this university. I must also indicate several other individuals that have been supporting us, like Professor Muhammad Ali Pantami, Isa Ali Pantami, Haji Yuguda, Muhammad Jibril Ambarde, and the member of representative representing Akko Federal Constituency, Honorable Usman Bello. We are grateful to all of them. We are also grateful to organizations like Union Bank, individuals, companies, and many more that have always been supportive to issues relating to our university. Now, to our graduates, today is the culmination of years of perseverance, learning, and personal growth. You have crossed a critical threshold, and we are proud of your achievements. In this university, we don't believe that we should train students for jobs that will automatically disappear so soon. Latest reports suggest that in the next 5 years or so, over 92 million jobs will disappear, while 120 million new ones will emerge courtesy of the Internet of Things and the evolution of artificial intelligence. Therefore, we need new mindsets, new skills, and adjusted cognitive and affective capabilities to be relevant or risk being thrown into the abyss of obscurity. The existential threat facing us in Nigeria is to accept the fact that oil is no longer the global resource power, but knowledge and innovation. Thus, the implication of that is for our universities and all institutions to respond and lead the current transition pervading the world. The future lies with our young people who are the powerhouse of this country. Investing in them through quality knowledge is building our future and addressing the challenges of poverty, conflicts, crime, corruption, climate change, and other disruptive behaviors that are subverting the process of development in the country. For our dear graduating students, let me once again congratulate you on covering this distance in your academic journeys. Even though the country is going through some temporary economic toughness, remember, tough times may not last forever. You have an exciting future that is full of possibilities and limitless opportunities, as well as challenges, real and imagined. This is the time for you to prepare for the future ahead. In this university, We have trained you to be able to build a strong foundation based on specialized knowledge, acceptable behavior, and clear focus to explore the world. With the information revolution and the challenges of knowledge-based economies, we have trained to transform you into highly rated professionals. Accordingly, I urge you to be courageous to explore the world. Never fear to innovate and experiment in life. Learn the tricks of information and communication technologies, irrespective of your disciplines. In the current era, digital literacy and critical thinking are necessary for personal and professional development. Always respect the law, dignify your neighbors and all Nigerians, and live decent lives to remain at peace with yourselves, the authorities, and to help us have a peaceful and prosperous Nigeria that can sustain us all in unity and diversity. Please do represent us well wherever you may find yourselves. We are entitled to acts of that from each one of you. Finally, I thank you all, our eminent guests and good people, for your kind attention and your friendship and love for this university. We are deeply appreciative and feel highly honored. We also thank all those who contributed to the success of this event from within and outside the university. May Allah bless you all and take you home safely. Once again, I thank you all for being part of this historic moment. Thank you very much. Let me please invite you all to the commissioning ceremony of our buildings by 2 to 3, from 2:30, 3 o'clock. It may take some few minutes. The Minister of Health is performing that function. The Deputy Governor of Gombe will do it on behalf of His Excellency, who will be joining us tomorrow morning. So please attend the commissioning ceremony on the new side of the university, and immediately after that, we are reconvening here for the convocation lecture. And the convocation lecture is specifically to honor our undergraduate and postgraduate students. But importantly also, let me announce to our undergraduate students that your certificates are ready for collection. So from now, you can liaise with the relevant units in the university to collect your certificates. Perhaps those that graduated in the last set may experience a delay of about 1 week, but all the others, the certificates are ready. So please, collect your certificate. Don't leave it with us. Go and collect it. When you return your gown and the other details, you get it from your faculty. Thank you.
We're now at the stage of award of degrees. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I would like to, with your permission, I'll call upon Dean, Faculty of Agriculture, to present his graduate for the award of degrees of B. Agri, as the case may be.
Graduates from the Faculty of Agriculture should rise up and remain standing. Faculty of Agriculture, rise up and remain standing. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I present to you graduates from the Faculty of Agriculture, including those who, for good cause, are unavoidably absent, for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy in both character and learning for the award of degree of Bachelor of Agriculture in agricultural economics and extension, in agronomy, in animal science, and in soil science, as the case may be.
By the authority of Senate, I award on each of you, including those who for good cause are unavoidably absent and for whom the dean stands proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and learning, for the award of the degrees of Bachelor of Agriculture in the respective areas as earlier listed. Congratulations.
May I invite Dean, Faculty of Education, to present graduate for the award of degrees of B Education, as the case may be.
Graduate from Faculty of Education, rise and remain standing. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I present to you graduates from the Faculty of Education, including those who for good cause are unavoidably absent and for whom I stand proceed, who have been found worthy both in character and learning, for the award of degrees of BA, Ed, Arabic, English, Hausa, and History, BSc Ed, Economics, Geography, Political Science, Agric Science, Biology, Chemistry, Computer Science, Integrated Science, Mathematics, and Physics. Also, B.Ed, Admin and Planning, and Guardians and Counseling, as the case may be.
By the authority of Senate, I award on each of you, including those for good cause are unavoidably absent and for whom the dean stands proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and learning, for the award of the degrees of Bachelor of Education, Bachelor of Science in Education, Bachelor of Arts in Education, and Bachelor of Science. Bachelor of Arts in Education, as the case may be. Congratulations on all of you.
May I invite the Dean, Faculty of Humanities, to present graduate for the award of degrees of Bachelor of Science, as the case may be.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. May students, graduates from the Faculty of Humanities rise and remain standing. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I present to you graduates from the Faculty of Humanities, including those who, for a good reason, are unavoidably absent and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and learning for the award of degree of Bachelor of Arts in Arabic, Bachelor of Arts, English, Bachelor of Arts in Hausa, Bachelor of Arts in Islamic Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Christian Religious Knowledge, and Bachelor of Arts, History and Diplomatic Studies. That, as the case may be.
By the authority of Senate, I award on each of you, including those for whose good cause are unavoidably absent and for whom the Dean stands proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and learning for the award of the degrees of Bachelor of Arts in the respective areas as listed by the Dean. Congratulations, all of you.
You may sit down.
May I invite Dean, Faculty of Management Sciences, to present his graduate for the award of degrees.
Graduates from Faculty of Management Sciences, rise up and remain standing. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I present to you graduates from the Faculty of Management Sciences, including those who for good cause are unavoidably absent and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and learning for the award of degrees of Bachelor of Science in Accounting and Business Administration, as the case may be.
By the authority of Senate, I award on each of you, including those who for good cause are unavoidably absent and for whom the Dean stands proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and learning for the award of the degree of Bachelor of Science in the respective areas listed. Congratulations.
You may sit down.
May I invite the Dean, Faculty of Sciences, to present his graduate for the award of degrees of the university.
Graduates from Faculty of Science, rise up and remain standing. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I present to you graduates from the Faculty of Science, including those who for good cause are unavoidably absent and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and learning for the award of degrees of Bachelor of Science in Biology, Microbiology, Plant Science, Zoology, Mathematics, Statistics, Computer Science, Biochemistry, Chemistry, Applied Geophysics, and Physics, as the case may be.
By the authority of Senate, I award on each of you, including those who for good cause are unavoidably absent and for whom the Dean stands proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and learning for the award of the degree of Bachelor of Science in the respective areas as listed. Congratulations.
You may sit down.
May I invite the Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, to present his graduate for the award of degree of the university.
All graduates from the Faculty of Social Sciences rise and remain standing. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I present you graduates from the Faculty of Social Sciences, including those who are, including those for good cause, who are unavoidably absent, and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and learning, for the award of degrees of Bachelor of Science, Criminology and Security Studies, Bachelor of Science, Economics and Development Studies, Bachelor of Science, Geography, Bachelor of Science, Political Science, Bachelor of Science, Psychology, Bachelor of Science, Sociology, as the case may be. Thank you.
By the authority of Senate, I award on each of you, including those for good cause are unavoidably absent, and for whom the Dean stands proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and learning, for the award of the degrees of Bachelor of Science in the respective area as listed by the Dean. Congratulations on all of you.
You may sit down.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, with your permission, I would like to invite all graduates with first class to stand up for recognition, please.
Not only for recognition, for a handshake.
For a handshake with the Vice Chancellor. Those with first class. First class.
Congratulations.
It's okay.
Congratulations. 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 Let's have a photograph. So, congratulations. 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 Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor.
Prizes. Yes.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, with your kind permission, we are going to announce the names of prize winners as follows. Overall best graduating student in the university 2019-2020, Saidu Lukman Rumbawa. And the donation is being done by Alhaji Muhammad Alwa Yunusa, AA Mek. Is he around? Stand up for recognition. Then, best female graduating student in Faculty of Agriculture.
Where is the candidate?
Okay, where is the candidate?
Congratulations.
Eh? To anan guda ɗaya. Then the second person, the ties are Mr. Vice Chancellor. They all both have 4.77 CGPA. The second fellow is Ibrahim Saidu Abubakar from Department of Physics.
Kabiru.
From Department of Physics with 4.77 of. Suleiman Rumbawa is from Islamic Studies Department, sir. Then best female graduating student in the university 2019-2020 academic session. And the award is being sponsored by Ajia Aisha Babayola. We have Nwobodo Constance Chinewe from Physics Department with CGPA of 4.68. Is she here? Then best graduating student in Islamic Studies 2019-2020 academic session. The award is being sponsored by Dr. Osman Jibril Mikhail, Deputy Dean, School of Postgraduate Studies and Chairman Muslim Ummah FUK. The winner is Saidu Lukman Rumbawa with CGPA of 4.77. Saidu Lukman Rumbawa.
And again, congratulations.
Best graduating student in accounting 2019-2020 academic session being sponsored by Professor Shehu Usman Hassan, Dean School of Postgraduate Studies. The winner is Abdullahi Suleiman with a CGPA of 4.65. Abdullahi Suleiman. Abdullahi Suleiman. The next person is Best Graduating Student in Faculty of Social Sciences, 2019-2020 academic session. It's been sponsored by Professor Muhammad Inwa Dauda, Dean Faculty of Social Sciences.
Congratulations.
The winner is Raji Abdul Ganiu with a CGPA of 4.52. Best Graduating Student in Economics and Development Studies, 2019-2020 academic session, and is being sponsored by Dr. Idowu Daniel Onisanwa, Head of Department. And the award winner is still Raji Abdulganiu with a CGPA of 4.52. Best Graduating Student in Political Sciences, Political Science, 2019-2020 academic session, and is being sponsored in honor of late Alhaji Muhammad Inwa Sambo. And the award winner is Musa Emmanuel Turo with a CGPA of 3.99. Musa Emmanuel Turo. Best Graduating Student in Applied Econometrics, ECD 4205, 2019-2020 academic session, and is being sponsored by Dr. Muhammad Umar, Director of Research and Development, and the award winner is still Raji Abdulganiu with scored 75A. Best Graduating Student in Biology, 2019-2020 academic session, and is the department that is sponsoring this award, and the award winner is Sunday Uchenna with CGPA of 4.75. Sunday Uchenna. Award and prize for 2020-2021 academic session. Overall Best Graduating Student in the University 2020-2021 academic session, and is being sponsored by Muhammad Abdulhamid Ghazali, Deputy Provost Academics, FCET Gombe, and the award winner is Phenomenon Jonathan, BSc Mathematics with a CGPA of 4.87. Phenomenon, is she here? Best female graduating female student in faculties 2020-2021 academic session, and is being sponsored here by Hajia Aisha Babeola, Enos Edith Baraya, BSc Biological Sciences with a CGPA of 4.83. Next is Best Graduating Student in Bee Agriculture, Animal Sciences, 2020-2021 academic session, and is being sponsored by Professor Saleh Mohammed Sa, and the award winner is James Yela from Bee Agric Animal Science with a CGPA of 4.74. James Yela. You see here? Best Graduating Student in Islamic Studies 2020-2021 academic session, being sponsored by Dr. Usman Jibril Mikael, Chairman Muslim Ummah FUK and Deputy Dean School of Postgraduate Studies. And the award winner is Jamilat Sulat Aduke with a CGPA of 4.28. Is she here? Best Graduating Student in Islamic Studies 2020-2021, sponsored by Alhaji Ahmad Isa Muhammad Sarkin Yakin Kashere, Madakin Gona. And the award winner is Jamiu Sulat Aduke with a CGPA of 4.28. Best Graduating Student in the Faculty of Social Sciences 2020-2021, and is being sponsored by Professor Muhammad Inwa Dauda, Dean Faculty of Social Science. And the award winner is Abdullahi Bello Muhammad of BSc Economics and Development Studies with a CGPA of 4.69. You see here, Abdullahi Bello Muhammad. Best graduating student in Economics and Development Studies 2020-2021 academic session. This sponsored by Dr. Idowu Daniel Osinawa, head of department, is still Abdullahi Bello Muhammad. Best graduating student in Political Science 2020-2021 academic session, sponsored by late Alhaji Muhammad Inwa Sambo, and the award winner is Chukuma Sandra Festus of Political Science with a CGPA of 4.41. Best graduating student in Biology 2020-2021 academic session, being sponsored by the Department of Biological Sciences. The award winner is Enos Edith Baraya with a CGPA of 4.83. Best performing graduating student for 2020-2021 session in Pindiga community, and is being sponsored by Honorable Sagir Shugaban Kashere, Sadaukin Pindiga, Sadaukin Sarkin Yakin Gombe. With the award winner is Yaya Ibrahim with a CGPA of 4.77 in chemistry. Is Yaya Ibrahim here?
Congratulations.
Award and prizes for 2021-2022 academic session. Overall best graduating student in the university 2021-2022 academic session is Sunday Grace Akintola, Physics Department with CGPA of 4.84. Overall best graduating student for 2023-2024 academic session. The overall best is Achibong Godswill NFO, computer science with CGPA of 4.84.
Congratulations.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, with your kind permission, I would like to invite one of the graduating students to give valedictory speech on behalf of the students. And the students to deliver the valedictory speech is Hadiza Modu Michelia. Hadiza Modu Michelia. Is she here? Where is she? Sorry, I've been corrected. You are no more students, you are graduates. Sorry for.
The Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Kashere, Professor Umar A. Pate, other visiting Vice Chancellors, distinguished Senate members and congregation, respected lecturers, esteemed parents and guardians, fellow graduates, gentlemen and ladies, good afternoon.
It is with a deep gratitude and joy that I stand here today before you, not just as a graduate, but as a testimony of resilience, hard work, and the unwavering grace of God. I am deeply honored to speak today on behalf of the graduating students of the 6th, 7th, 8th, and the 9th combined convocation ceremony of this great institution, Federal University of Kashere. Today marks the end of a defining chapter and the beginning of a new one. We came in as hopeful students, wide-eyed and perhaps uncertain. We faced challenges such as academic hurdles, sleepless nights, sometimes financial battles and personal ones. But through it all, we emerged stronger, wiser, and ready to take on the world. On behalf of the students, I wish to extend my profound appreciation to the Vice Chancellor, Professor Umar A. Pate, and his dedicated management team for their exemplary leadership and the unwavering commitment to academic excellence. Under your visionary leadership, the university has experienced a remarkable transformation marked by the seamless implementation of stable academic calendar, enhanced student welfare initiative, and integration of innovative teaching and learning approaches. These efforts have not only enriched our academic journey, but has also instilled in us the confidence and skills needed to thrive in this ever-changing world. Your focus on creating and implementing environmental environments for both staff and students has laid a solid foundation for our future progress. And for this, we say thank you, sir. To our respected Senate members, lecturers, and mentors, thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for challenging us and for believing in us, even when we doubted ourselves. You didn't just teach us from textbooks, you helped sharpen our minds and thinkings, especially in the era of calculating critical and entrepreneurial thinking, especially in the area of critical and entrepreneurial thinking, emotional and artificial intelligence, and the internet things into the fabrics of students for global competitiveness and excellence. To our parents and guardians, your love, prayer, support, and everything else carried us all here. No words will ever be enough to appreciate you, but today we offer you this certificate as a gift and say thank you. To my fellow graduates, we made it. Let us never forget that this degree is more than a certificate. It is a call to responsibility, a call to lead, a call to serve, to think critically, and to contribute meaningfully to the development of our communities, our country, and the world at large. As we are admitted into the alumni of the Federal University of Kashere, may we be always good ambassadors of the Federal University of Kashere, wherever we find ourselves. Let us go forward with boldness. Let us be the light in dark places. Let us be the voice for the voiceless. And let us be the solution amidst challenges. Whether we are going into further studies, careers, entrepreneurship, or public service, let us go with character, competence, and compassion. I leave you with these words by Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Let us use it wisely. Congratulations to all of us. Thank you, and God bless the Federal University of Kashere.
Thank you, Hadiza. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, with your kind permission, I now invite the alumni officer to initiate them into alumni family of the university. I now invite the alumni relation officer to rise and administer the Federal University of Kashere alumni pledge to the graduates. The alumni officer.
The Vice Chancellor, sir, with your kind permission, I rise to administer the alumni pledge to the graduates. May all those who have newly been admitted into the degrees of Federal University of Kashere to please rise and remain standing. It is my pleasure to welcome you all, those present and those absent for whom I stand proxy, into the alumni family of Federal University of Kashere, as you say this word after me, please. I promise to defend, protect, and work for the progress of Federal University of Kashere by my conduct in all my future endeavors. So help me God. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I hereby admit the graduates severally to the FUK Alumni Association, sir. You can sit down.
Thank you. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, we are gradually coming to the end of the first phase of the convocation ceremony. I just discussed with my Vice Chancellor. We are not closing, we are adjourning. I have the honor to invite the Vice Chancellor to declare the convocation closed. It's not closed, but just what the tradition demands, but it's not closing.
I declare the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9 combined convocation ceremonies for undergraduate students closed. Tomorrow, we shall continue for postgraduate students as well as our honorary graduates. You are all invited to come and join us for the bigger ceremony, where the visitor will also be available, as well as several other personalities. Once again, I congratulate you all and wish you very fruitful futures ahead. Thank you.
Just before the national anthem, please, immediately after the national anthem, the procession will leave the hall in reverse order, while students and guests will stand and remain standing on the until the last person walk out. Who are those walking out? You are not supposed to go out now until the Vice Chancellor leaves the venue, please. Please take your seat. National anthem, please.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
FUK anthem, please. Miss Ban, please. The procession would leave the arena in reverse order. The order in which the procession is leaving, starting with the Chancellor's procession, led by the flag bearers, the Vice Chancellor, DVC, visiting registrars, registrar, visiting pro-chancellors, university librarian, university bursar, registrar, members of council, members of senate, The Senate's procession follows after the Chancellor's procession. The Senate's procession comprises of the Academic Secretary, members of the Senate, professors, provosts, deans, and directors, Dean Student Affairs. Following the Senate's procession is the congregation procession. The congregation procession follows the Senate's procession. The Senate's procession exiting the arena, followed by the congregation procession. The congregation procession exiting the arena, to be followed by the students, the graduates congregation. It'll be procession rather. The congregation procession exiting the arena, followed by the graduates procession.
Convocation lecturer, Professor Pate. We also thank you for our mentor, our father, distinguished Senator Goje, and all other members here present that have contributed to the progress of this university. We pray that as the occasion goes on, we commit everything into your own hands. Help us, Father, for this, my prayer with thanksgiving in Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, our Royal Fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, may I now invite the Vice Chancellor, the Federal University, Kashere, Professor Umaru Pati, to now formally welcome you to this convocation lecture. Mr. Vice Chancellor. Sir.
The visitor to the university, ably represented by the Vice Chancellor of the ATBU, Professor Ibrahim Garba, the distinguished the Governor of Gombe State, ably represented by his deputy, Dr. Manasa Jatau, the distinguished senator representing Gombe Central, Dr. Muhammad Anjuma Goje, the Honorable Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, the Chancellor, sir, the Pro-Chancellor, Elder Statesman Alhaji Yerima Abdullahi, very senior cabinet officers of the Gombe State Government, visiting Vice Chancellors, Executive Secretary of the NUC ably represented, Executive Secretary of TETFON, who is here in prayer, physically with us, former Executive Secretary of the NUC, Professor Rashid Abubakar Adamu, and his counterpart, his colleague and friend, Professor Yahuza Bello, former BUK VC, Dr. Kole Shetima, the Africa Director of MacArthur Foundation, Emir of Pindiga, our royal father, the Emir of Deba, the Emir of Michika in Adamawa State, very eminent colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is with great honor and heartfelt delight that I welcome you all to the Federal University of Kashere for this special convocation lecture, a key highlight of our third combined convocation ceremony. Today's lecture continues a cherished academic tradition, one that reflects our deep commitment to thought leadership, intellectual engagement, and societal transformation. This gathering reminds us that a university is not only a place of learning, but also a hub for dialogue, ideas, and national development. We are truly privileged to have with us a globally celebrated scholar, physician, public health leader, and statesman, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, the Honorable Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Professor Pate's accomplishments as a former global director at the World Bank, former executive director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, and an internationally respected health policy strategist as well as a scholar are widely admired. His lecture today, Medical Science, Past, Present, and Future, is especially significant to us here at the Federal University of Kashere. Not only does it provide a comprehensive look at the evolution of medical science and its prospects in shaping our collective future, It also heralds a historic new chapter in the life of our university. This lecture marks the formal beginning of our School of Medical Sciences, an ambitious and transformative step towards training the next generation of medical professionals in Nigeria. With this bold initiative, our university is rising to meet the urgent need for locally trained, globally competent health workers who will serve our communities with excellence, ethics, and empathy. The College of Medical Sciences will be a center of academic rigor, innovation, and service, a place where future doctors, nurses, public health experts, and biomedical scientists will be nurtured not only in clinical competence, but in leadership and compassion. We see this development as a fulfillment of our mandate to contribute meaningfully to national growth and human capital development. Dear colleagues and distinguished guests, having Professor Pate lead today's lecture is more than symbolic. It is foundational. His lifelong dedication to health equity, primary care, and global health diplomacy offers a clear vision of what is possible when medicine is anchored on purpose and integrity. On behalf of the Governing Council, Senate, management, staff, and students of the Federal University of Kashere, I thank the chairman of the occasion, Senator Goje, as well as the Deputy Governor of Gombe State, and all other senior officers of the state government and our very eminent guests who came from all over the country to grace this occasion. I welcome you all warmly and thank you for joining us at this momentous occasion. I thank our esteemed Convocation lecturer, Professor Pate, for accepting our invitation and for lending his voice and presence to this landmark moment in our university's journey. May this lecture inspire us to think deeply, act boldly, and build institutions that truly serve the needs of our people. Thank you, and God bless the Federal University of Kashere. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Professor Umaru Pate, Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Kashere. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now may we respectfully invite the chairman of the occasion, the very distinguished Senator Dr. Muhammad Danjuma Goje, Sarkin Yakin Gombe, to deliver his address.
I just need to make a correction. We welcome the Emir of Machina, not Michika, Emir of Machina from Yobe State. You are welcome, sir. And our honorable member of House of Representatives from Duku constituency.
Uzbillahi minashaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Your Excellency, the visitor to this university, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ably represented. Your Excellency, the Governor of Gombe State, Mohammed Inu Ahaya, also ably represented by the Deputy Governor. Honorable members of the National Assembly here present, the Honorable Minister, Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Affairs, Professor Pate, the Secretary to the Government of Gombe State, Professor Ibrahim Jodi, the Chancellor of this university, who is also a respected traditional ruler from the Southeast region, the Pro-Chancellor of the university and members of his council, the Executive Secretary, Third Fund, who is here himself in person, and the representative of the NUC, our traditional rulers here present, especially my emir, the emir of Pindiga, the emir of Deba, and the emir of Machina. I would like to respect the other protocols already established by the previous speakers. It is with great pleasure and a deep sense of responsibility that I welcome you all to this very important convocation lecture, holding as part of the celebrations marking the third combined convocation ceremony of the Federal University of Kashere. It is a singular honor for me to serve as the chairman of this occasion. I am deeply grateful to the university management for this wonderful opportunity. I do not take it kindly or lightly, especially given my very long-standing relationship with this university and my unwavering commitment to its growth and development. I wish to begin by welcoming the representative of His Excellency, the visitor of this university. On behalf of myself, the people of Gombe Central Senatorial District, and indeed the entire people of Gombe State, I will welcome him and thank Mr. President for the interest he has in the development of this university. I also wish to especially welcome our guest lecturer, the Honorable Minister, Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Affairs, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate, and indeed all the eminent guests and personalities from all over the country who have come to share today's joy with us. Let me also seize this opportunity to congratulate the Council, the Senate, management, and the entire university community on this very important occasion of marking the third combined convocation ceremony of the institution. Specifically, I acknowledge and congratulate the university for the significant rights it has recorded in recent years, particularly under the able leadership of the current Vice Chancellor, Professor Umaru Pati. I really want to repeat myself. I've gone around this university today. The last time I was here was several years back. I've seen total transformation of the university. We really thank Professor Pate and all the other members of staff of this university for a wonderful job in the rapid development of this university. On behalf of myself once again, and the Kashere community in particular, Gombe Emirate, or Pindega Emirate rather, and Gombe State, we thank you and thank you and thank you and thank you, and God bless. As the senator representing this constituency at Gombe Central Senatorial District, I am especially delighted to witness today's lecture and the choice of topic and lecturer. I am also very pleased to note that this lecture is heralding the official commencement of the university's medical school, a dream many of us from this area and this state have long cherished. This bold step toward training the next generation of medical professionals is not only visionary, but necessary for addressing the acute shortage of healthcare personnel in our communities and beyond. The topic of today's lecture, medical science, past, present, and future, could not have come at a better time. It speaks directly on one of the most critical sectors of our national life, that is healthcare, and provides a valuable platform for reflection, discourse, and projection. We are doubly honored to have, as I said, as our guest lecturer, one of Nigeria's most distinguished medical professionals and global health leaders, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate. The VC has already eloquently summarized his credentials, and I don't want to repeat that. I believe Professor Pate's lecture will provide the intellectual foundation and moral encouragement to propel our efforts forward. However, I want to add something as a politician. I want to say Professor Pate is quickly becoming one of us. We therefore pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant him the necessary protection, wisdom, guidance, and success in his political career. I don't want to expatiate, but we wish him the best, and the best. I want to commend the university management for the strategic steps so far taken and urge all stakeholders within and outside government to support this initiative to build a robust, functional medical school that will serve both Nigeria and the wider humanity for generations to come. Once again, I welcome all of you and thank you for your presence at this important event. And I wish you safe journey back to your respective destinations. But as we listen attentively, reflect deeply, and commit ourselves to building the kind of institutions our children and community deserve, we are praying to God, Almighty Allah, to continue to make this university prosper, to expand this university, to make this university of service and relevance to the needs of its immediate community and the humanity at large. Long after all of us here in this big hall are gone, we hope that this university will continue to serve that very purpose for which it was established. On this note, once more I welcome all of you and pray to God to bless the Federal Republic Nigeria, but in particular to bless the Federal University of Kashere. Thank you, and God bless us.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Chairman, distinguished Senator Mohammed Danjuma Gurji, Sarkin Yakin Gumbi. And as he takes his seat, let me quickly acknowledge Honorable Abdullahi El Rashid, member of the House of Representatives, as well as Professor Yusuf Benson Baha, Provost, COE Hong, and Professor Usman Malami Aliu, DG National Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment. Thank you very much. And now, Your Excellencies, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will now listen to the citation of the Convocation lecturer, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate. Citation.
CON, currently serves as the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare for the Federal Government of Nigeria, overseeing a critical portfolio aimed at improving public health and social support systems across the nation. Until August 2023, Dr. Pate held the esteemed Julio Frank Professor Chair in the Practice of Public Health Leadership at Harvard University's renowned Chan School of Public Health, where he was deeply involved in training future health leaders and reshaping public health policies. In addition to his role at Harvard, Dr. Pate was co-chair of the Future of Health and Economic Resilience in Africa, a collaborative multidisciplinary platform dedicated to fostering innovative approaches for enhancing health outcomes and economic stability throughout the African continent. His commitment to global health initiatives was further underscored in February 2023 when he was appointed as CEO of Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance based in Geneva, Switzerland. However, he later chose to prioritize his service in Nigeria, withdrawing from that prestigious role. Dr. Pate was recently elected as a member of the Distinguished American Academy of Arts and Sciences and formally inducted in September 2023, reflecting his significant contributions to health and science on a global scale. Previously, he held the position of Global Director for Health, Nutrition and Population Global Practice, as well as Director of the Global Financing Facility at the World Bank Group in Washington, D.C. from 2019 to 2021. In this influential role, he led a team of 390 dedicated development professionals across 6 regions worldwide, orchestrating the World Bank's health response to the COVID-19 pandemic. This included the strategic design and implementation of the groundbreaking $18 billion global health multi-phase approach, which provided essential support to over 100 countries during an unprecedented health crisis. Notably, Nigeria was a primary beneficiary of the World Bank's $150 billion commitment fund aimed at alleviating the social and economic repercussions of the pandemic, highlighting Dr. Pate's impactful leadership in navigating complex global health challenges. Dr. Pate was the pioneering CEO of Big Win Philanthropy from 2015 to 2018, a distinguished global foundation based in both the UK and the US. His tenure at Big Win was marked by a mission to empower credible national leaders across various African nations, facilitating transformative economic growth and the development of human capital. Before his impactful role at Big Win, he served as a visiting professor at the Duke University Global Health Institute from 2013 to 2015, where he conducted in-depth research and imparted knowledge on comparative health systems, enriching the academic community with his insights. From 2011 to 2013, Dr. Pate held the critical position of Minister of State for Health in Nigeria, where he was an active member of the National Economic Management and the implementation teams. He also chaired the Presidential Task Force on Polio Eradication, Routine Immunization, and Primary Health Care. Before he was appointed minister, he played a vital role as the CEO of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency from 2008 to 2011, where he laid the groundwork for many significant health initiatives. Dr. Pate's 5-year tenure within the federal government was characterized by several landmark achievements that greatly influenced public health. Notably, he was instrumental in revitalizing Nigeria's polio eradication efforts after a crisis in 2008, leading to the historic elimination of the type 3 wild polio virus, with the last case reported globally in 2012. His leadership was crucial in establishing the foundation for the eventual eradication of the type 1 wild polio virus, which later received certification. In addition, Dr. Pate championed the introduction of the meningococcal A conjugate vaccine in Nigeria, which successfully halted the seasonal outbreaks of meningitis that had plagued the country. His innovative approach also led to the incorporation of the Haemophilus influenza type B antigen into the pentavalent vaccine and the pneumococcal conjugate vaccines, enhancing the immunization landscape in Nigeria. He was a visionary behind the creation of emergency operation centers at both the national and select state levels, and he launched several initiatives, including the Midwives Service Scheme and Community Health Worker Program. Dr. Pate also played a key role in shaping the primary health care under one roof policy in 2010, which significantly accelerated the development of state primary care agencies. He founded the Northern Traditional Leaders Committee on Polio and Primary Care to galvanize local leadership around public health initiatives. His leadership led to groundbreaking programs such as the Nigeria State's Health Investment Result-Based Financing Program in 2009, the 1 Million Lives Initiative in 2012, and the Private Sector Health Alliance of Nigeria in 2011. He also established the Chigari Foundation in 2014, which is currently making a difference in 19 states and the Federal Capital Territory. In honor of Dr. Muhammad Ali Pate's remarkable contributions to public health in Nigeria and globally, the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, bestowed upon him the prestigious national honors in the rank of Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON, in 2022. This recognition underscores Dr. Pate's influential role in advancing health initiatives that significantly impact communities. Dr. Pate has lent his expertise to a multitude of esteemed global expert panels and boards. His recent involvement with the Lancet COVID-19 Commission and the independent panel on the global Ebola response exemplifies his commitment to addressing critical health crises. Additionally, he has contributed to the High Quality Health Systems Commission and served on the Board of Management Sciences for Health, a prominent organization based in the United States. His leadership also extended to the World Economic Forum, where he held the roles of chair and vice chair for the Global Agenda Council on Population Dynamics. Dr. Pate's insights have been sought by respected entities such as the Brookings Institute, culminating in significant contributions to the Africa Growth Initiative report and engaging with the Council on Foreign Relations. His written work includes an influential op-ed for CNN and several interviews featured in the Financial Times. A prolific author, he has published extensively and contributed chapters to numerous scholarly books. Among a number of accolades, Dr. Pate is the proud recipient of several honorary awards, most notably the Harvard Health Leadership Award in 2012 and the Geneva Health Forum Award in 2014. In addition, he has been honored with traditional titles such as Chikere Misau in Bauchi State and Dangiyang Ibi in Taraba State, alongside accolades from the Western Pacific island of Samoa, reflecting his profound connection to diverse cultures and communities. Dr. Pate earned his medical degree from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, in 1990, where his journey began. He further refined his skills at the UK Medical Research Council laboratories in the Gambia from 1993 to 1995, followed by postgraduate specialty training in infectious diseases at Howard University in Washington, D.C. His academic path also includes a fellowship at the University of Rochester in New York and advanced studies culminating in a Master of Science in Health Systems Management from University College London, UK, as well as a Master of Business Administration from Duke University in Durham, North Carolina, USA. Throughout his distinguished career, Dr. Muhammad Ali Pate has dedicated himself to improving health outcomes and transforming health systems, leaving an indelible mark on the world stage. Nigeria, Africa, and the world are safer and healthier for everyone. He is happily married to Hajia Karibatu and blessed with 4 daughters and 2 sons.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Convocation Lecturer. Thank you.
His Excellency, the visitor to this esteemed university, here ably represented by Professor Ibrahim Garba, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Gombe State, here ably represented by His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, the Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor of the University, the Federal University here in Kashere, the Chair of the Governing Council, and all members of the Governing Council, my own brother, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Umaru Pate, members of the Senate, management and staff, as well as students of Federal University here in Kashere, heads of federal agencies, Executive Secretary of TET Fund, Primary Healthcare Agency, Federal Tertiary Hospitals, and I acknowledge the presence of distinguished members of the National Assembly that are here, and our royal fathers, His Royal Highness, the Emir of Pindiga, and through you, our distinguished royal fathers that are all here, including the Emir of Mashina and others who were sent delegations, including my own Emir, His Royal Highness, the Emir of Misau. I recognize all the faculty, the students who are the reason why we're here. I know there is a large body of students from Gombe State, from my own state, Bauchi, and from all over the Federation here at the Federal University in Kashere. I recognize you all other members of our delegation. May I also crave your indulgence to stand on the existing protocol, because it's a very long protocol and time is fast spent. Let me start by appreciating the Governing Council, the Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, faculty, and all members of the Federal University Kashere for this humbling honor of inviting me to present this year's convocation lecture. No doubt, there are many better equipped and more erudite scholars, but that you chose to invite this humble public servant speaks volumes about the university's openness to learn from a diverse fountain of ideas. It is also a testament to the institution's embrace of inclusivity and intellectual plurality, which are values that define not only academia, but also the spirit of our own national renewal. My aim here is to share a perspective on the evolution of medical sciences from its historical root to contemporary realities, and then look towards the future. I will draw upon a multidisciplinary body of work to illustrate the paradigms that have shaped the evolving tapestry of medical science. While I anchor this reflection primarily on modern medical science, as it is widely practiced, I acknowledge the validity, the contributions, and the epistemological richness of all traditions, from ancient Egypt to Greece, Africa, Asian, Islamic thoughts, and other medical traditions. This historical arc that I am going to pursue is not merely academic. It is the key to understanding how health knowledge evolves and how societies understand and respond to disease, and how societal choices may determine which populations thrive and which are left behind. It is through this lens that we will explore the evolution of medical science. First, by revisiting the foundational past, and then examining the complex realities of the present, and then turning our gaze to the future. As we examine this evolution, we must ask ourselves, how does our current generation of leadership, including scholars, students, clinicians, policymakers, politicians, how have we honored the lessons of the past while we are striving to shape the future, a future that ought to be inclusive, ethical, and also resilient? Now, the origins of medical science, the contemporary medical science that we are practicing now, traces its lineage to the civilizations of ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Greece. And in the lecture, you will have all the references that you can go back and study. And I will not go through it verbatim, but I will sketch this tapestry. In ancient times, before 500 BCE, illness was attributed to supernatural forces. Treatments included herbal remedies, rituals, and trepanation, that is drilling of holes in the skull to release evil spirits. In the then Egypt, medical practice combined religion and empirical observation. This is thousands of years ago. And texts like the Ebers Papyrus, 1550 BC, included diagnosis, treatments, and surgical practices. And in ancient Mesopotamia, the priests served as healers, developing texts that included diagnostic frameworks. And in ancient Greece, we marked a turning point, moving towards more naturalistic explanations of disease. What we see here is the beginning of a transition from sacred healing to systematic observation. In Egypt and Mesopotamia, medicine was inseparable from moral and the cosmological order. The body was seen not as an abstract entity housing composite parts, but as a microcosm of divine balance. Ailments were not merely physical. They were expressions of spiritual and communal disharmony. It is important to note that similar traditions of healing and herbal knowledge also existed in the African continent, from the knowledge systems of the Yoruba Babalawos to the East African use of the aloe, neem, and others. And African societies overall possessed also rich medical epistemologies, many of which remain active today. These traditions were often orally transmitted, but reflected a pluralistic and an integrative view of the human body within our ecological, social, and spiritual frames. During classical antiquity, 500 BC to 600 BCE to 500 CE, Hippocrates, also known as the father of medicine, emphasized observation and the theory of the four humours. Later, Galen built on the Hippocratic ideas and became the authority on anatomy and physiology for over 1,000 years, leading into the Renaissance and shaping the curricula and practice across Islamic and also the European world. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, his key contribution was not just anatomical knowledge, but also in methods. He detached illness from divine punishment and taught that symptoms must be interpreted. By the Middle Ages, the Byzantine and Islamic medicine further preserved and expanded on the Greek and Roman knowledge. And notable figures like Avicenna, Ibn Sina, whose canon of medicine became a cornerstone for medical training, even in the West, along with Razi and Al-Zarawi, they significantly enriched the intellectual corpus of medical science. In contrast, the medical progress in the Western Europe slowed down, constrained by religious orthodoxy. Monasteries preserved ancient texts and provided care, but disease was often interpreted through the lens of divine retribution. It is only later that universities, such as in Bologna and Paris, emerged as formal centers of medical learning, though they initially remained bound to earlier doctrines. While Europe entered intellectual stasis during the early medieval period, the Islamic world experienced a golden age. Avicenna, whom I referred to, writing in the 11th century, synthesized the work of Greeks, Persians, Indian medicine into a highly structured clinical science. His canon of medicine, which I mentioned, remained a standard reference in both the East and the West for many, many years. He introduced the ideas of clinical testing or trials, beginnings of the ideas of quarantine, and began to describe diseases like diabetes and meningitis. Al-Zarawi, considered the father of surgery, introduced over 200 surgical instruments, and some of his instruments and his inventions are still in modified use today. Rezes Al-Razi, a Persian physician, was among the first to distinguish measles from smallpox, and their works were not merely preservations of classical thoughts, but they were innovations rooted in empirical testing and ethical reflection. During the European Renaissance, which was spurred by devastations of the Black Plague, 1500 to 700 CE, and the rise of scientific inquiry, it marked the rebirth of medical knowledge. Dissections became more accepted. Anatomy advanced through figures like Andreas Vesalius, whose De Humani Corporis Fabrica in 1543 corrected the previous errors. Paracelsus introduced chemical remedies, challenging humoral orthodoxy. And William Harvey's discovery of blood circulation will later revolutionize cardiovascular science. This was the birth of anatomical science as we know it, and I was pleased to see that Federal University here in Kashere has a wonderful anatomical lab that we just saw. Now, the Black Death in 1347 to 1351 killed about 25 to 50 million people, mostly in Europe and other parts of the world. But it also catalyzed public health consciousness. Cities created early forms of quarantine, death registries, and rudimentary epidemic management systems, thereby foreshadowing the kind of system-level thinking that we all recognize today. In the 18th century, just recently, anatomical and physiological discoveries advanced further interest in statistics, hospital systems, and public health. They began to gain ground. Medical sciences grew more professionalized and becoming increasingly secular in their outlook. And the Enlightenment period brought more rationalism into medicine, from myth to rationalism, with the rise of the hospital as an institution, not just for charity, but for research and teaching. Physicians began to track symptoms, comparing outcomes, and quantifying disease. The emergence of vital statistics like birth, death records gave birth to demography as a field, to actuarial science, and to later epidemiology. Later, the invention of microscope changed our understanding of microbes and how they cause diseases. In fact, the microscope, which was perfected in the late 1600s by van Leeuwenhoek and was preceded by observations by Robert Hooke, was a turning point in the evolution of medicine, because we were able to observe bacteria, protozoa, and other organisms that we had never seen before. This was more than technical. It was almost the birth of a philosophical orientation. The microscope shattered the boundary between the visible and what is real. It changed the way we perceived illness, from previously thinking that it was imbalance or moral failing, to now understand that it is due to microbial invasion, whether it's malaria or bacteria or other diseases. It paved the way for the germ theory to take hold, for hygiene, and even for modern immunology and microbiology, which we study now. It is no exaggeration to say that the microscope created the foundation for all modern diagnostic medicine, from tissue histopathology to virology, and from tuberculosis to cancer screening. The introduction of anesthesia, such as ether, chloroform, further revolutionized surgery. Imagine having surgery without anesthesia. It will be almost impossible, but it was done. Simultaneously, the development of antiseptics allowed us to undertake more adventurous surgical procedures. The 19th century, therefore, marked a key transition moment from speculative medicine to systematized clinical science. The microscope, the stethoscope, sterilization, controlled trials, vaccination all emerged or matured within a 100-year span. Together, they established medicine as an empirical, replicable, teachable discipline, not just apprenticeship. With the dawn of the 20th century, the accidental discovery of antibiotics, penicillin, by Fleming in 1928 marked a further turning point in modern medicine. And then the modern use of antibiotics accelerated. Later, we had radiology, X-rays, CT scans, MRI that we are now all familiar with, expanding medical diagnostics. Systems thinking, influenced mostly by the engineering disciplines, began to shape our approach to healthcare delivery. Socialized medicine first gained ground in European welfare states from an individualized one. Medical research became more ethically governed, and clinical trials emerged as the standard for evidence generation. These were not what we experienced at the founding of medicine. The century also witnessed the rise of health as a political right. After World War II, with the founding of the World Health Organization in 1948, it was a political decision. And thanks to Your Excellency that you flagged that we all in health also have to learn a little bit of politics to be effective. Because health is also part of politics, and politics is health. And politics led to the emergence of WHO and the emergence of the ideas of universal health care and the ideas of universality in Europe and parts of Asia, and health becoming a public good. This period showed a shift from heroic medicine focused on individual rescue to population health, to issues of health insurance and health systems. That is the evolution. In the 21st century, the evolution of medical sciences accelerated through the rise of evidence-based medicine, precision medicine, genomics, proteomics, metabolomics, and also digital health. Advances in biotechnology, artificial intelligence, robotic surgery, and telemedicine are rapidly reshaping both clinical practice and medical research all over the world. In public health, domains such as vaccinology are transintegrated than ever, and ecological systems. The triumphs of science must now also contend with the fragilities of our planet and the inequities within our nations and also between nations. And let me give you an example of what I mean by this. Taking infectious diseases, in this era of polycrisis, scholars like Adam Tooze and others, like the World Economic Forum as an institution, describe the era that we're in as an era of polycrisis, where multiple shocks converge, cascade, and compound each other. In this new world, medical science no longer confronts isolated disease patterns. It must respond to interlocking disruptions. Infectious diseases, climate change, which moves people, is changing our world. Technological volatility, political instability, economic fragility and uncertainties, and deepening inequalities in our societies. These are the complex challenges that the world exists today in this era of polycrisis. And as we're coming, the Deputy Governor was telling me about the issues of rain in Gombe, the issue of changes in temperature affecting food systems, leading to malnutrition, leading to diseases that can afflict population. So this is a moment when health systems will not only treat illnesses, but adapt to the planetary risks, manage uncertainty, and operate amid contested facts and fading institutional trust. It is not only now. History offers multiple illustrations of how infectious diseases have shaped the course of human civilization. Catastrophic outbreaks and pandemics have always played formative roles in key moments of human civilization, affecting health, culture, economic stability, and political continuity of empires. And if you don't believe me, let me take you a few examples. In the antiquity, the pandemics played indelible marks, from the plague of Athens in the 5th century, likely caused by typhoid fever in Athens, decimated a quarter of the city's population and contributed to the city's military defeat by its opponent in Sparta. The Antonine plague, attributed to smallpox in the 2nd century CE, claimed 5 million lives in the former Roman Empire, accelerating social dislocation and the imperial decline. The plague of Justinian, beginning in the 6th century CE, was the first major outbreak of bubonic plague in Europe and killed nearly half of the continent's population and 40% of Constantinople's residents. In just the last 100 years, we have experienced several large-scale epidemics and pandemics with high human cost and economic cost, profound social disruption. The Spanish flu 100 years ago, the Asian flu in the 50s, Hong Kong flu in the 60s, swine flu in 2009, HIV pandemic, which started in the 80s. We have also seen new pathogens, such as the Hendra virus in Australia in 1994, Nipah virus in Malaysia in 1998. I was doing a fellowship in infectious disease at that time. Severe acute respiratory syndrome, the first coronavirus in China in 2003, the H5N1 influenza in China in 2005, the pandemic influenza H1N1 in the Americas in 2009, the Middle East respiratory syndrome, the second coronavirus, which happened in Saudi Arabia in 2012, Ebola outbreak in West Africa 2014, Zika virus in the Americas in 2017, Ebola in DRC in Congo in 2018, and now we experience the third coronavirus, the severe acute respiratory syndrome COVID-19, which we know as COVID-19, which started in China in 2019, and it's still with us, it's still evolving. So interactions between humans, animals, pathogens, and environment have been a constant feature of disease outbreaks and epidemics. Zoonosis, diseases that cross from animals to humans, account for 60% of all pathogens causing human infectious diseases. Estimated 75% of emerging infectious diseases are of zoonotic origins, and 85% of agents of bioterrorism potential are also of zoonotic origin. You just need to look at anthrax and many other new infectious diseases or emerging ones. In addition, the increasing challenge of antimicrobial resistance. In the US alone, for instance, more than 23,000 deaths and more than 2 million infections occur annually every year, attributable to antimicrobial resistance. So paradoxically, civilizational and technological progress increase risks of infectious disease emergence, transmission, and spread, given the growing and increasingly urbanized population, and with the incursion of humans into natural ecosystems and their contact with wild animal species, with large-scale concentrations of monoculture animal husbandry that is now becoming the practice, with rapid globalized transport and commerce, and the recently emerging technological capacity for bioengineering, bioterrorism, and biological warfare. The frequency of outbreaks of emerging and re-emerging infectious disease is in fact in the rise over the past several decades, as I had laid out. And COVID-19, even though it has now quietened down, was a major wake-up call for the world and exposed how unprepared we are for the health, social, and economic challenges that infectious diseases pose to us. Now, in 2023, with the advent of this administration, Mr. President launched the Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative as part of the Renewed Hope. And the vision was to reframe health as an issue that is linked to our national security, to be an economic enabler and a platform for harnessing our nation's capital, human capital, to reap the dividend of our large population. Within the context of infectious diseases, human diseases, but also challenges that we're facing like climate change and other challenges that drive population health outcomes in the wrong direction. And that is why, under the President's leadership and through his agenda, we're embedding climate resilience into our overall national health sector response. And the effort that we're driving includes not only dealing with broader public health issues, the core public health functions, expanding primary health care, strengthening our federal facilities, building human resources, improving our surveillance systems, our economic value chain, but also linking to the educational system, like what we have seen here at the Federal University in Kashere, where the university is building and expanding its medical faculty to create a cohort of leaders, scientists who will build a further resilience nation, not only working in hospitals. Hospitals are important, but beyond that. And it also includes climate adaptation in primary healthcare design, for instance, using solar-powered cold chains, using modular flood-resistant facilities, and water security measures in high-risk zones. So we're building for the present, but also thinking about the future in a very complicated world. We also have prioritized the One Health approach, recognizing the interdependence of human, animal, and environmental health. This is no longer theoretical. We're integrating surveillance systems across the Ministries of Health, Agriculture, Livestock, and Environment. As you saw just a few days ago, the One Health Committee met, so that we can be better able to predict and manage zoonotic outbreaks. We are also taking forward the idea that we need to imbue our universities and academic institutions with this thinking to build resilience, to create a cohort of leaders that are able to help our nation survive when challenges occur. Now, I will digress a little bit from medical science. At least in the Islamic tradition, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The earth is green and beautiful, and that God has appointed you as stewards over it." That ethical stewardship must extend to protecting the health of our people from the illnesses that they are suffering from the challenges that they are facing, and from the disruptions, the destabilizing effects of things that we see, whether emerging infections or ecological disruptions from climate change. So as we begin to think about the future as stewards of the health of our population, I'm not speaking just from the angle of biomedical science or from the angle of the Ministry of Health. All of us, universities, industry, civil society, politicians, traditional leaders, we're all stewards of this asset of the Nigerian people. And we ought to focus as stewards to use it, address the needs of today, but also begin to think of the issues of the future. And as a great 13th century Sufi master, Jalaluddin Rumi, said, "Try not to resist changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you." This wisdom calls us not only to take on technical adaptation to the challenges that we are facing, but also requires us to undertake moral recalibration. The challenges that are outlined, despite the progress that we have made, there is still a lot of challenges ahead of us across multiple facets of our society. That brings us to the question of where does an enterprise like the university fit in this context? So facing the era of polycrisis with multiple threats, we, the human civilization, we Nigerians, and this part of Nigeria will now have to confront our challenges both through adaptation and innovation. Innovation in the life sciences, we have to use to leapfrog. We can't remain complacent. So with a university like this one, which is starting in this journey, it has to pursue innovation in the life sciences, especially genomics, areas like synthetic biology, looking at artificial intelligence and their role in diagnostics, contributing to fundamentally reshaping the Nigerian health system and contributing to shaping our region in the continent and also the world. These fields that I mentioned are converging together to create a transformative shift in how diseases are understood, diagnosed, and treated. And as of today, for instance, over 90 countries include genomics and AI, artificial intelligence, in their national health strategies, underscoring the global shifts that are occurring. I'm saying this is not abstract. It will be a mistake to think that these shifts are only for other countries. In this continent, there are countries that are really making progress in advancing in genomics, in the use of artificial intelligence, even in this country. So universities like the Federal University of Kashere have to think of how these new areas intersect with the curriculum, with your faculty development plans, because that will help build a resilient future for our country, for our continent, and for the world. We're seeing health systems transformed, precision medicine is taking over, individualized medicine. If you think this is a joke, it is not. There are AI-generated practitioners that have the benefit of thousands of literature on their fingertips. In a few years' time, AI will change the world. And so if you don't understand it, if you are not trained in it, you'll lose out. So we have to engage in those areas. Digital health records. So it's not only the Faculty of Medicine, Faculty of Engineering, and others. In disease prevention, for instance, early genetic screening can identify our predisposition to diseases. The human genome has been identified. You can predict cancers and other diseases before they occur based on scientific methods, and this we have the benefit of science that has shown us those elements. But if we don't study them, we'll be living 1,000 years behind, and the rest of the world will continue to move forward. In areas of drug development, with genomic insights, we can accelerate drug discovery. The Deputy Governor told me his interest in phytomedicines. We have a lot of biodiversity. But if we don't use these technologies to our advantage, we cannot harness what God has endowed us in biodiversity, where there may be tools that can cure diseases, cure cancers that are just around the corner. But we have to study them using good scientific methods, and the university and universities have a role in that. So rapid diagnostics, early detection, how we optimize our resources, bioengineering, biomanufacturing, all of those areas are real. They are not abstract. So I have carried you through the historical trajectory of medical science, but we're now experiencing this in this world. I'm bringing it to this university so that we quickly engage on that. At the global level, of course, there are many strategic shifts. The issue of bioeconomy and national competitiveness, and countries that are leading in genomics and synthetic biology are fast gaining strategic advantages in the emerging bioeconomy. According to OECD, in 2025, the global bioeconomy was projected to reach 30 trillion by 2035, with China, US, and some European countries in the leading side. In areas like data storage, gene editing, synthetic tissue development, and others. And even the African Union has a bioeconomy strategy, which projects almost a 30 billion market in Africa by 2030 in health-related biotechnologies alone. So the university is not to train only medical students. You also have to engage in training bioscientists who can engage in these new fields, create jobs, whether here, whether they go somewhere else, but they will be contributing. That's the human capital that we have to harness. Using AI for surveillance, for instance. But importantly, beyond the scientific endeavor, I'll come on to my last point in the shift. The need for us to think about ethics, equity in the context of these evolving changes, and even issues of sovereignty. For instance, with generation of tons of data, genomic and health data are fast becoming strategic assets. Countries are enacting laws to control cross-country data flows. So even lawyers have a role in this evolving landscape, and data scientists. We need to train more of them. We have to focus also on the issues of access inequality, because as progress is made, some move fast and many are left behind. We don't want to be those who are left behind in this rapidly evolving landscape. But how do we ensure that the gap between countries and populations with access to advanced diagnostics and therapeutics and those that don't have access is minimized? That's why the federal government is focusing on things like risk pooling, ensuring that we bring our population closer to the health system so that they can have access to those. Issues of biotech regulation, because this is a new field, and our laws and regulations have to be upgraded to be able to regulate this industry. Otherwise, we will be faced with the challenge of those who may extract value from us without benefit to our society. There are also economic and industry implications of these changes. For instance, the startup ecosystem. I mentioned the ecosystem, the convergence of AI and life sciences is spawning huge numbers of startups in digital health, molecular diagnostics, and personalized therapeutics. Nigeria's health tech sector grew by 41% in 2024, but mostly led by Lagos-based startups such as 54Gene, Helium Health, Doctura, and VC support from firms like Future Africa and Novastar Ventures. There are entities in Nigeria that are viable, are promising, and are already on the move. So if you are in Kashere, you can't use that as an excuse. You have to learn to join in this endeavor. Pharma and tech giants are aggressively acquiring and investing in companies that specialize in genomics and AI-driven health solutions. So the fact that you are in Nigeria and Africa, the capital can come to you if you have an innovative idea. And we're seeing shifts in the labor markets as well, with increasing demand for cross-disciplinary talent, ranging from data. Can I get a cup of water? Thank you. I think when you ask a teacher to speak, I have to speak and speak until I can speak no more. So the labor market is also changing. There's demand for cross-disciplinary talent, ranging from data scientists with biomedical knowledge to bioengineers with coding skills. And this requires curricula in health that include data analytics, biomedical coding, AI ethics. And that's why the Federal Ministry is intending to work with the NUC and MBTE to embed AI and genomics modules in medical and allied health curricula, with implementation set to begin in the years ahead. I'm saying that again, looking at the professor, the vice chancellor, that we have to take this into cognizance as you think of your medical faculty. It's not just to produce medical doctors, dentists, nurses, pharmacists, but there are a whole generation of expertise that we need to start to think how we can produce them. So what does this mean for Nigeria and Africa overall? with our fast-growing population that is estimated at 230 million, our most important asset is our people, and especially you, the young Nigerians from all over this country. And given the increasing complexity of our world in this era of polycrisis, it is imperative that we harness this nation's human capital to innovatively adapt and shape a better, resilient, and equitable future. That is why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to investing in our human capital development. And this implies that we do the following. I'm about to conclude my lecture. We need to invest in STEAM education, the foundational sciences, the basic sciences, clinical sciences, higher education, not only in the medical science, but also in other related fields, scaling the TED Fund Research Fund, and ES TED Fund, I'm looking at you. So it's not just abstract ideas, but also calling on TED Fund to expand the Science Granting Council's initiative and strengthen postgraduate training in molecular medicine and bioinformatics. And we are already expanding, as we saw today, our national capacity for training in the medical sciences in collaboration with our with the education, health, universities, industry, and between levels of government. States also will need to do their part. 2, investing in research, development, and innovation. The Nigeria's Research and Innovation Fund received 50 billion allocation in the 2025 budget, the highest in its history. And partnership with the African Academy of Sciences is also expanding bench-to-bedside translation. 3, finding integrative platforms. The future lies in seamless platforms that combine different fields, not in narrow and siloed areas. For example, combining genomic data, real-time diagnostics, and personalized treatment for patients and others. We also need to democratize innovations and build ethical leaders, because the new tools that are coming to the fore in medical sciences and technologies may exacerbate health inequities and ignite new forms of biopolitical tensions unless ethical leadership is cultivated through national regulation and ethically led institutions. For example, there are several dilemmas that will be confront many of your generations. Who will decide who lives or whose life is worth saving? How is data of individuals going to be protected and who protects them? And who guards the protector? And whose suffering deserves innovation and whose suffering can be ignored? Many of these questions are not only technical or purely policy or political questions. They are also questions on the conscience of society. When you walk the streets and you see a beggar, you see an almajiri walking the street, you see a hungry person, and you look the other way. That is reflective perhaps of your thinking, but it's also a question in terms of the conscience of society. What do we value? What kind of a society do we want? So in conclusion, and my closing reflections, we have traveled in this lecture through time, across millennia of human learning, to review the evolution of the medical sciences. But what emerges along the way is not merely the story of medical science, as you will all agree with me. It is also a reflection of humanity striving to respond to pain and suffering, its continuous search for meaning, and its efforts to adapt, to survive as a species. Because other species are also struggling to survive. The infectious diseases are also species. They are in struggle with us. So if medicine is a science of life, then medicine, then public health is also its moral expression. Public health asks us not only how to cure individuals, but how to prevent at the population level. Not only how to intervene at the individual level, but also how to build systems that intervene at scale. And history may well remember my boss, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not only as an architect of the major economic reforms, but also as the Nigerian head of state, who was courageous to invest in human capital development aggressively, with the health and well-being of the people at the center of his national transformation, and to do that at scale, linking, for instance, in healthcare to economic productivity and our nation's collective aspiration for a prosperous future. In decades to come, when future scholars trace the inflection point at which Nigeria began to reclaim its health security, I have no doubt they will point to this moment with the health sector renewal underway, led by the President, and they will find that the foundation laid in this year's proved decisive in Nigeria's journey of transformation. But word of caution, transformation is never guaranteed. It must be protected. It must be championed, deepened, and renewed by every generation. To the graduating classes, undergraduate, postgraduate classes of the Federal University of Kashere, this moment is now yours to shape. Not only the graduates, but also the students. Whether ultimately you become scientists, PhDs, or medical doctors, or public health leaders, researchers, or innovators, or social scientists, your charge is not just to serve, but to improve what you find. You will need to help advance science, listen to communities and communicate with the communities, to build institutions, to uphold the right values. Please, let the aim of your life's work be a bridge between what is and what could be for our country and for humanity. Don't let it be just about you. Any education can get you a job, but a quality education, what you will experience at this university, should prepare you to think of society, where we are today and where we ought to be. And let your life's work be building that bridge from where we are to where we ought to be. And in the words of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best of people are those who are most beneficial to others. Let this be the standard of your success, so that it's not how big or how high your house is, or how big your car or your office is, or how much money is in your account. Let your success be the benefit that you have brought to others. And in the words of Sheikh Ahmad Zarruq, the Moroccan jurist and Sufi, the root of every good is in the clarity of intention. And as we venture into the new frontiers of medical sciences, our collective intentions must be anchored in justice, in responsible stewardship, and in compassion for our society and humanity overall. Don't just make an intention to be the wealthiest person there is. Recently, Bill Gates announced that he will donate $200 billion of his wealth in the next 20 years. Because what's the point? So there's something beyond. So let your intention focus on the right things. Anchor it in justice, responsible stewardship, and compassion for society and humanity. And let me close by expressing my gratitude once again to the leadership of the university, all its faculty, and you, the great students of this university. And let me assure you that as a minister in President Bola Ahmed's team, Tinubu's team, that this government sees the health and education of young Nigerians not as a cost to manage, but as a foundation for a national legacy to build. I thank you for your attention, and may God bless you and bless our country. Thank you.
May we give the Convocation lecturer a resounding applause for that wonderfully delivered lecture. Thank you very much. Let's keep the applause going for the lecturer. Come on, thank you so much. Thank you. It's not easy. Please, let's keep the applause going. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, there are a number of gifts that will be presented to both the Convocation lecturer and the distinguished chairman of today's occasion. So at this point, let me call on the Vice Chancellor, Professor Umaru Pate, to come forward and set the process in motion.
Thank you very much, our dear Convocation lecturer. It's my pleasure to invite my Pro-Chancellor, Professor Oluwadoremu Williams, for the presentation of the gifts to our Convocation lecturer as well as our chairman of the occasion. Yes, lecturer, sir.
Your Excellencies, Our Royal Highnesses, all protocol observed, our most distinguished lecturer, one of the smartest, brightest, iconic and singular privilege to present to you distinguished senator who has contributed immensely to the founding and growth of this university. We're happy that we found time today to share this occasion. And on behalf of the university, the chairman, governing council, the vice chancellor, and the management, and the entire great students of this university, I present to you this plaque to remember this important occasion. Congratulations.
Before we take the vote of thanks, Let me please announce that tomorrow, inshallah, in the morning, by 10 o'clock, we are going to hold our main convocation ceremony. At the occasion, we are going to award 5 honorary degrees, one for our Chancellor who is seated here. His investiture will take place. We also have 2 other awardees who are seated here. The Honorable Minister of Health, Professor Ali Pate, will be awarded with honorary doctorate degree of DSc, Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Equally, Dr. Kole Shetima, the Africa Director of ARCO Foundation, who is also seated here, will be honored with the honorary doctorate degree of DSc, honoris causa. We hope to start the convocation any moment from 10 o'clock, and it's our expectation that we are just going to take 2 to 3 hours to conclude, because it's going to be on national live television. Please, you are all invited, and come and share the joy of the occasion with us. Thank you very much. And let me use this opportunity to welcome all our heads of agencies in the health sector. They have come powerfully to celebrate with their honorable minister, who is our own awardee on this campus. We thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor Professor Umaru Pate. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite, for the purpose of delivering a vote of thanks, the Registrar, Alhaji Nasser Lawal Abdul.
All protocols duly observed. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to deliver this vote of thanks on behalf of the Governing Council, the management, Senate staff, and students of Federal University of Kashere. Let me begin by expressing our deepest appreciation to our esteemed guest lecturer, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, for accepting our invitation and for delivering an intellectually enriching, timely and forward-looking lecture on the evolution of medical sciences, past, present, and future. Your presentation has brilliantly connected the historic breakthrough of medical science with current realities, while also projecting a compelling vision for the future. It is clear that your wealth of experience projecting a compelling vision for the future. It is clear that your wealth of experience spanning academia, global health, and public policy has immensely enriched the depth and quality of today's discourse. We are truly grateful, sir. Once, our sincere thanks also go to our chairman of the occasion, distinguished Senator Muhammad Danjuma Goje, Sarkin Yakin Gombe, Senator representing Gombe Central Senatorial District, for honoring us with his presence and for presiding over this important academic event with characteristic grace and distinction. Your continued support and commitment to educational development, particularly in this university and northeastern region, are deeply appreciated. Permit me to also acknowledge the effort of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Umaru Alhaji Pate, and the entire Convocation Committee for the excellent organization of this lecture as part of the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th combined convocation ceremony. To our invited guests, stakeholders, academic colleagues, students, and friends of the university who joined us today, we thank you most sincerely for your presence, your attention, and your interest in the future of knowledge and public health. May the knowledge shared today inspire positive action and enduring partnership for the betterment of our university, our nation, and humanity at large. Once again, thank you all, and may God bless you. God bless Federal University of Kashere. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Registrar Alhaji Nasir Lawal Abdullahi, Your Excellencies, our Royal Fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that brings to a conclusion this convocation lecture, and to round it off, may I once again ask that we rise to our feet for the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland.
Thank you very much, and have a good evening. Thank you.